Hi, everybody. I hope you guys are doing well. And I hope you're staying safe as well. And I also hope you're finding some time to relax and unwind and just take some downtime to deal with all that's going on. I wanted to create a couple of videos for you. One has to do with the difference between 30 frames per second and 60 frames per second as it relates to editing. And the other has to do with the difference between 1080 content and 4K content as it relates to editing. I'm going to start with the different frame rates though. So I already have Premiere open, I have my project established, and as you can see, I have already imported some clips. These clips, by the way, came right from Storyblok, so you can certainly use them and hunt for all kinds of other clips as well. So I'm going to bring them into my timeline. Remember, there's a couple ways that you can do it. I'm just going to click, hold, and drag the first clip right to my timeline. And that puts that 1080p or 1080 30 frames per second clip here. And we can just kind of scroll through it. There's nothing particularly amazing about the clip. It is just a clip of somebody walking, hiking on some rocks. So this is the 30 frame per second clip. This is a 60 frame per second clip. Now it's a different clip, as you can see. Okay. Looks like it might be the same person, I don't know, but it's certainly a different angle. But I want to show you what happens when we change the speed of the playback. This isn't the frames per second, this is just how quickly this clip will play back. So right now it is set at 100% speed, meaning normal speed. However it was shot, that's how it's playing back. But we can slow it down, or we could speed it up. So if we right click on any of the clips in our timeline, we're going to see a pop-up menu, and there's going to be all kinds of different things there. One of them is speed and duration. So I'm going to select it. As you can see, it's set at 100%, meaning that's the normal rate. That's what it was shot at. That's how it's going to play back. Now, if I want to slow it down, I want to make this number shorter. If I want to speed it up, I want to make this number larger. So I'm going to slow it down by half. So I'm just going to, it's already highlighted in blue, I'm just going to type in 50. And when I hit enter or OK, what's going to happen is this clip is going to actually appear to be twice as long. Because what it means is it's taking that clip, that 22-second clip, and it's going to play it back at 44 seconds, really 45, almost 46 seconds. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And you can see it got longer. Now, if I go back to any part of it and I play it, look up here and see how it's slowing down. But you see how it's kind of, I don't know the right word for it, but jerky. If you can see it particularly in the trees. Okay, now we're on to the other clip. You can see by the playhead, we're on to that second clip. So just look at the first clip, and you can see it just in the leaves of the trees, how it just they kind of flutter a little bit. And so when you try to slow down a 30 frame per second clip, you can do it. I mean, obviously I just did it and it looks okay, but you're gonna get, it's not as smooth as it could be. And it's not as smooth as we probably want it to be. So the advantage of shooting something at 60 frames or even higher is that when you slow it down, the playback still looks smooth. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on this little eye. What that does is it hides this track. It's still there. It's just not showing up here now. And now I'm going to slide this track over a little bit, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to right click, speed, duration. I'm going to drop this from 100 to 50. It's going to double in size again, and we're going to play it back a little bit. And as I play it back, see how it's slow, but it's not quite as jumpy. If you look at the leaves and whatnot, they're not kind of fluttery. They're just moving slowly. There's a little blur when the legs move and the feet move. There's a little bit of a blur, and that's what we're going to get. It's much worse at 30 frames per second. If we shot it at 120 frames per second and slowed it down, that blur would become minimal. And the faster the frame rate, the less blur there is as we slow things down. So that's one of the key advantages to shooting at a higher frame rate is you can adjust the speed of the playback more without sacrificing the quality of the actual shot. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back on so we can see the first clip. So this is the clip we're seeing right now. Remember, your playhead reads basically from top to bottom. So since this is the playhead, since there's nothing above this, it's playing this track. What we're seeing up here is this track, and we already know that I've changed that, and it even says 50% there. I've changed that to slow it down. So what's going to happen? This playhead is going to move, and as it moves, it's going to play this clip at 30 frames per second, slow down. Then it's going to transition to this clip at 60 frames per second, slow down. And I think you're going to notice at least a subtle difference in terms of how smooth the playback is. So let's take a look. And notice the trees fluttering. Now we're going to shift to the 60 frame per second clip, also slowed down, and the leaves just aren't fluttering quite as much. So that is the primary advantage of shooting at a higher frame rate. Most cell phone cameras can shoot at a variety of frame rates. The newer iPhones can go up to, I've forgotten if it's 120 or might even be 240. And so then, of course, if we slow that down, it's going to be even smoother still. We'll get a nice slow motion effect without kind of that jerkiness that you might see from this first clip here. Again, up here with the trees and the leaves. So just something to think about. Those are the primary advantages of shooting a higher frame rate. Of course, we can also speed things up. And so to do that, we do the same thing. Go to right click, speed duration, but instead of a lower number, less than 100%, we want to go to a higher number. And let's say 200%. It's twice the original speed. Right? Then this, of course, gets very short. And now as we play it back, this person's moving pretty quickly. Now, another thing that you can do, and this is independent of frame rate, but you can vary that. So maybe there's a part of, maybe a sequence of someone walking. You want to speed it up a little bit and then bring it down to regular time, or slow it down and bring it back to regular time. And so you can do that with a number of different, in a number of different ways. I'm going to go ahead and put this back to what it was, and that is 100%. That's the normal playback length. I'm going to get this track out of the way for now. Right, so let's just say we're moving along and we want to, from here, speed it up a little bit. We have a couple of seconds of normal speed, but we want to speed it up a little bit. So what we can do is take this little tool, which is a razor blade tool, okay, select it and click right on that line. And what I've just done is I've separated that clip. See? I'm going to Command Z to undo, and it puts it back. It doesn't remove that slice, it just removes my spacing. And you can still see the slice there. So let's say I want this part to be faster, and then I want it to slow down when this person gets here. So I'm going to go ahead and put another clip or a cut here. So then go back to my selection tool. I can speed duration. I'm going to speed this part up. We're going to go 200% there. Then I want to bring these together. Of course, I don't want that black frame or multiple black frames. So I can either click, hold, and drag this over, or I can right click and select ripple delete, and it puts it right there. And now let's say I want this part, the last part of it, to actually go slower. So I'm going to make this 50%. And so now when I play it back, we're going to see the person starting out at regular speed, then speed up a little bit, and now toward the end, slow down a little bit. Okay. So there's a number of different things, of course, that you can do with that. And there's a number of ways that you can go about doing that. But that is a quick and easy way to fluctuate the speed of playback. And again, with the higher frame rate, the smoother that slow motion will look, and frankly even a little bit smoother the speeding up will look too. So higher frame rates are typically preferred. The problem with higher frame rates, you typically need a little bit more light as well. So it's something of a trade-off. This shot obviously is outdoors, and so it wouldn't really have mattered which frame rate they were using. So anyway, that is kind of some quick tips on how to fluctuate the playback speed and some of the differences between 30 frames per second, 60 frames per second as it relates to the editing process. So I'll have another video in just a bit that will focus on kind of the differences between 1080 and 4K when we're in the editing process. So I will talk to you soon. Take care.